Hello folks, this is video number 28 in the playlist that's devoted to the 3D Experience CATIA generated shape design application. Uh, Keep in mind that there are two playlists for this particular application. One of them is the wireframe tab, uh, and the other playlist is the surface tab. So this, because I'm creating a surface, is going to go into that surface tab playlist. Now, uh, the icon that we're going to be discussing is the sweep icon. And keep in mind that sweep icon is one of the advanced uh, functionalities for surface design. And it has many options. The particular uh, case of the sweep icon that we're looking at is called uh, explicit profile type, and it is the last of the subtypes that we're discussing here, and it's called pulling direction. Uh, when you're in the generative shape design, the ribbon at the bottom of the uh, screen looks like this, and if you select the surface tab, you have access to sweep. And when you click on the sweep, this thing opens up, and notice that the profile type is explicit. That's what you're doing. The subtype is with pulling direction. And of course, here is the information that we have to supply. Okay. So it is uh, explicit with pulling direction. Okay. Now, there is help, but the help is not very, it's not always very helpful. Let me also one more time remind you that the profile type is here, which is explicit, and there's a pull down menu, and you have to select the with pulling direction. In other videos, earlier videos, I have gone through the with reference surface, several of them, maybe 3, 4 videos, and also with two guide curve, which also had 2 or 3 videos prior to this. Right. Now, the best visual reference that I came across is a document by Dassault, which had with their surface design course. And down here, notice that this is the explicit type, and there are the 3 subtypes, namely with surface, reference surface, with 2 guide curves, and this is the one that we're looking at right now with pulling direction. So they try to tell you essentially what it does. It controls the angle between some direction and profile. Okay, it's kind of worded. It's a very loaded wording that they have. But anyway, Google AI gives you some additional information that I've copied here, and the how it works part in Google actually is very interesting because it's probably gives you the best information uh, about uh, the way it works. And but the only thing is that it's easy to see this in simple cases like that figure that I showed you right now. But when you go to more complicated surfaces or actually uh, guides and things like that, directions, it's going to be tough to interpret it. The CATIA version, V5 version of something like this can be found in YouTube with this YouTuber. Okay, let's go ahead and do the problem. The first thing we're going to do is make a very simple profile, which is kind of inverted L to go around a path that I'll make. Around, when I say a path, I mean a guide curve, essentially. So first of all, let me draw my guide curve on that horizontal plane. I will sketch, okay? I'll sketch just a centered rectangle, nothing complicated. Yeah, that's fine. Dimensions and things don't matter. Exit. So there is going to be my guide curve. So this is, let me call this thing sketch one properties. I'll call it guide. Right there. Okay. Now I'm going to draw my profile. So on that vertical plane, I will sketch something that looks like an L, inverted L. So maybe like that. Yep. All right. And let me bring this thing and make it coincident with that edge. So this point, control, dimension, this either way. There are different ways of doing it. Right click, coincident. Okay. Exit. Okay. Good. Now, this is going to be my profile. So right click, properties. I'll make this thing profile. Again, simple situation. You can see what's going on. Very good. Nothing complicated. Let me hide these things, not the sketches. Uh, I want to hide the planes. I don't want to see them. And these are the sketches. These are the axes associated with the sketches. So I'm going to hide them because it's blocking my view. Very good. Good. Okay. So now we're going to go surface tab right there. We have the surface tab. And there's the sweep. You click on it. Okay. And explicit type right there. Pulling direction, the third choice. It says, what is the profile? The profile is right there. And the guide curve is what I drew down here. Okay. Direction, let me make the vertical direction as the direction that I want, Z. So right click, Z. Okay. So Z is, see that this arrow? Z is my direction. Now, notice that there is this option changing the angle. Right now, I will leave it as 0. Right now, I'll leave it as 0. And I say preview. So when I preview, I get something like that. Okay, fine. That's not a no-brainer because we take this inverted L and kind of sweep it along that guide, you get something like that. But notice that there, first of all, it says there are several solutions. So this is the first solution. The next one, preview, didn't change that much, didn't change at all. Next one, preview. Okay, look at what happened. You see this? The L is now inside, and the next one is the fourth one. It'll be the same. Okay, let's go back to the first one. I'll go to 1, preview. Okay, good. Now, I will change that angle. This angle that you see here right now, it says 0. Let me change it to maybe 10 degrees. And look at what happened. By the way, when I change that angle, see this, there is this 10-degree marker appears here, which shows you a direction like that, 10 degrees with the vertical direction, 10 degrees with the vertical direction, and you get uh, essentially this setting. Now, preview. Look at what happened. It kind of tilted. It kind of tilted this profile by 10 degrees. Let me make it more. 30 degrees. Preview. It tilted it more. You can see that. 30 degrees. So it's easy to see what is going on here. Now, once again, you have different solutions. So this is the next one is going to be like that. Huh? Here, it's a dramatic, difference between what the initial case of 0 degrees. Next, see, it folds it on the inside. And next, this is what happens. Only in the first trivial case where it was 0 and, well, maybe the first one, let's go back to 0. It's easy to interpret this thing and predict it, but uh, one, it's easy to see what's going on here. Now, let's do something else. Oh, by the way, let me go here and make some changes. So instead of this direction, Z, let me try something else. Some of these will work, some of these may not work. So X, preview, it says, can't do that. Makes sense? Y, preview, can't do that. Back to Z, preview, sure. Now, for direction, let me choose a kind of a random direction. Let's see what happens. So I can go and create a line or a direction, but let me do it a different way. For example, because I want to do least amount of work, let me go and put the cursor here, right click, edit wireframe, create a line, create a line, create a line, point to point. So let me go, for example, from this corner of that guide that I drew to this corner of the guide. So a direction has been created, which is neither X, nor Y, nor Z. And then you say, okay. So we are actually, as the direction, selecting this random line that I drew. Preview, doesn't work. Okay. Let's try something else. Cancel. All right. Let me go and select a different direction. For example. So let me make this time a, we can go back here. Okay. For direction, I'm going to say insert wireframe, create a line. This time I'm going to go from maybe, let's see, say uh, a line from this point to that point. So this is a different direction, like that. Say, okay, this direction. Let's preview. Nope. So it tries to do that, but it overlaps. Now let me cancel that. Let's do one more thing. Go here, sweep. Notice that there's also this one worked, and it's 0 degrees. Of course, I understand that, but there is a law here. Let's not keep that angle constant. Let's change it. So we go to law. For example, linear. As it goes, the angle changes linear as it goes around. Start at 0. Let's say it goes to, I don't know, maybe 10 degrees. Let's see what happens. Review. You see that? Angle changes gradually from 0 over here to slightly to 10 degrees all the way when it goes to the other side. So the point is that there's a lot of crazy things that we can do here. But whether it makes sense or not, whether it makes sense or not, or whether it can be interpreted or predicted is a different story. Let's do one more. Let me go and draw a spline, for example, on that. Let's say, uh, not a spline. I mean, uh, a different, uh, kind of a different direction, which is not significantly uh, different from the Z direction, but it's different. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me first of all go there, change that thing back to from the law. Uh, uh, Law. Let's go back to constant. Close. Preview. So this is the original thing that we had. But I want to create a. Let me close that. It's easier for me if I did it outside here. We go to wireframe, create a point which is 000, and another point which is a bit higher, and a bit to the right. So, or for what? Yeah. The point is that I want to have a tilted direction. Okay, instead of the Z direction, I want to have a tilted direction. Okay, so make a line between this point and this point, which is the origin, by the way. So let me try this as my direction. So we go back to that sweep. Instead of Z component, I'm going to select this line. Now, the problem is that the line that I created was after the sweep. I don't have access to it. So let me cancel that. I'm going to move this line further up. I'm going to move these things further up above the sweep so that I can use that. So we go reorder after, I'll put it after this profile. Good. So the line is right now up there and I can use it. So double click on sweep. Now I have access to that line and let's pray. Oh, still doesn't work. Causes a problem. You can see that. It actually does it, but it I kind of say the places that you have problem, don't draw it for me. So it goes like that. Cancel that. Cancel. Let me do the following. Let me go to that point. Let me go to that point, and instead of maybe making it 14, let's make it 3. I'm pretty sure it's going to run at some problem at some point, definitely. So now preview. It does a better job. Oops. What happened here? Okay, yeah, that's good. It's still there, except that because this is underlined, I can see it. So let me put the cursor here, right click, define invoke object. There we are. So this is the one with that line. This is double click. So this is the one with that line. Okay, and it worked. There's no problem. Let's change the angle a little bit. Works here too. Okay. Now these are all different, and you can create stuff on the screen. Whether we can interpret or not is a different matter. Okay. And the other thing is that this stuff is not documented as one might expect. This is why they pay surface designers a lot of money, good surface design, a lot of money, because these things they learn by experience and hours behind the screen trying to figure out what's going on. And in many cases, they will not know what's going on, but it looks good. Sorry to put it that way, but that's the way it is.